I mean, that is, you see the rotation. You can actually see the inflow in and the rotation with it. And we're watching down below to see, I believe we now have a tornado on the ground there, Jesse.
Yeah, it looks like
Look at that. We now have a tornado on the ground.
Yep.
Chopper 5, where is exactly Chopper 5? Is it flying over Unity Village right now?
Yes, it is just south of Unity Village. I just spoke with our pilot there. He is facing towards Unity Village. Okay. Yeah, there it is. It looks like we do have that tornado on the ground, Chris.
We have a tornado touchdown there, and if we can zoom back in, just below it there. I need everyone here in central Jackson County. Now you see debris swirling in. So we've got a tornado on the ground. That's the debris cloud. And we need you to be in your safe room now. Unity Village, northern Lee Summit in particular, now we need to put that action plan into motion. Go to your lowest interior room of your house. We're near Lee Summit Hospital right now, I'm being told. So this is near Lee Summit Hospital. If you're watching me, look at the power flashes.
Power flashes. Oh, my goodness.
So now we're sustaining damage here from this tornado. It is now no longer a radar-indicated tornado. We now have confirmation. You see the debris swirling up into that vortex. As it's racing up, there's another big power flash. See the lowering above, too. So that's your condensation funnel. And we'll see if in time, if it connects all the way down to the ground in terms of the visual with that funnel. But again, all we need to know right now is that we see debris flying. We've got a tornado that is on the ground, even though it doesn't have that classic look to your eye. There around Lee's Summit Hospital is where we are right now. You need to be into that safe room here because we are now verifying a tornado that is on the ground here from Chopper 5. It is perfectly positioned here to guide us through the storm, Jesse.
Yeah, and you know, this is a good time to remind people, if you're watching in Lee Summit, you may be looking at this and saying, well, I don't see the funnel on the ground.
There it is. A little vortice right there from it swirling around the parent tornado.
You see that vortice. Just because that tornado hasn't condensed all the way to the ground does not mean it's not doing damage on the ground. And we saw power flashes. We saw debris. This is confirmed. This is no longer just radar indicated. This is an actual tornado on the ground moving towards Lee Summit. So if you live between Unity Village, Missouri or Lee Summit, Missouri, please get in your safe spot. This thunderstorm, again, has a tornado on the ground. We have seen debris. We have seen power flashes with this tornado. Chopper 5 is giving you the bird's eye view of where this tornado is right now. You saw that vortice spin up very quickly. And, you know, we have some visibility issues here with the rain, too, but we are going to continue to watch that. Chris, there's the latest on that tornado warning. It looks like maybe a new severe thunderstorm warning just to its north.
Thank you so much, first of all, for joining us. And if you could tell everyone where you were when the storm hit and what you observed from the storm.
I was at my office on Lee Summit at the corner of Scruggs and Douglas Road in Lee Summit. There is a strip mall that is right next to the police department behind the Starbucks. In fact, you had your cameras on it. You could see the tiles being lifted off of our roof in your camera shot. When it hit, we heard the sirens go off. We had patients in the office with us, so we rounded up the patients and we went into an interior office with the patients and shut the door. And it, in fact, did sound like a freight train, exactly like a freight train. We could hear, in fact, you're playing it on TV again. We see the tiles coming off the roof.
So that's your location right there. That's when you were watching it, right there.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the air conditioning units were pulled off the roof and tossed. I saw one of them as I was leaving. I saw one of them in the back. It pulled off pipes that were for gas, so we have gas leaks there. We had to call the fire department. They were there within 2 minutes. Gas leaks all along there. There are 8 businesses approximately in that shopping center, and they were all open for business when it hit. So every one of them had customers inside the units. And all the cars in the parking lot, the tiles on the roof were slate, and so they damaged a lot of the cars. Most of the cars had at least one or more holes in the windows from the debris. There were 3 trees that I could see that were uprooted. 2 of them were broken in half, and one of them was actually uprooted. We had big, huge trash containers that were just thrown into cars. There are gaping holes in the roofs, and so we had outside rain coming into our office. There's going to be a lot of damage in that shopping center. When I left there, after the siren stopped to get home, I passed by the high school, and there is one of those big box trailers that's in the parking lot of the high school, and it was on its side. There were approximately 9 emergency vehicles in that immediate area when I left. A lot of damage in that area.
Loretta, my gosh, that is just a tremendous amount of information you are passing along, and it is very extensive, the levels and the magnitude of damage that you're describing to us, you know, from what we saw from Chopper 5. But, I mean, there is a lot that's going on there in that area from that tornado touchdown. Yes, sir, there certainly is. Any injuries that you're aware of, or are we doing okay on that front?
None that I'm aware of.
We have crews on the ground who have gone to Lee Summit to take a look at the damage. We're going to toss it over to Betsy Webster. She joins us now live. Betsy, again, is in Lee Summit. It looks like quite a bit of damage there.
Well, so far we've not heard of any injuries here in Lee Summit, but we are seeing some damage, particularly here near Lee Summit North High School. In fact, one of the most visible things is here in the parking lot. You see this tent, this fireworks tent, and I want to walk you in here, actually. You can see all these fireworks on the ground. These are things that were being used to raise money for a parent-teacher student association event in the fall. So this is really upsetting for the folks involved to see this happen. Now, in addition to this, and I'm going to tell my photographer, watch your step there. I know you're looking through the lens. Careful, there's a piece of metal behind you. There's a lot of debris around here because of all of this, including some trees down and things like that. I want to bring you to someone who has a vested interest in these this damaged fireworks stand. Jeannie Nixon is one of the officers with the Parent Teacher Student Association at Lee Summit North High School. And Jeannie, you were telling me that you were here when the warning came out, when those sirens went off. Tell me what was going through your mind and what you made sure to do.
We were here, and we had all of the volunteers that were here to leave, and we asked the patrons that were here as well to leave. We had some student volunteers. We asked them to leave. There were 4 adults that were left. We closed the tent down, got it secure. We came outside and saw the rotation. As soon as we saw the rotation in the sky, we knew it was time to leave.
And what can you tell us about the storm as it passed on through? Because I understand that you have some video as well.
We were inside Yes Fitness in Lee Summit. Our trainer, Alfonso Hodge, he got drafted by the Chiefs. He was training my son's football team, and the sirens were going off. And we looked out the back door, and it looked like it was in Raytown. And then our phones all went off on alert. Well, Zoe's phone particularly said, "Take shelter." And a couple of us dads were like joking, "No, no, no." And he showed us it said, "Take shelter." So at that time, we put all the boys in the boys' bathroom, the girls in the girls' bathroom to keep them safe. There's about a half a dozen of us dads that were outside. Alfonso Hodge had the wild idea, let's take a video, because he's from Cleveland and he's never seen a tornado. Well, we didn't think it was going to be close to us. So I wanted to go get my GoPro. I couldn't get to my truck because it was raining too much. So I put my phone out there, and literally that tornado went right over us, maybe 100 yards. I zoomed in. It took off the roof of a strip mall where there was a Funhouse Pizza. And then we saw on the video, we saw the metal shrapnel hit the power line. We lost power. I mean, it was pretty cool to us. But that's as close as I've ever got to a video. I mean, to a tornado.
This is live video coming in from Chopper 5 and Lee Summit, I believe, of that fireworks stand damage. So Chopper 5 flying over that area. This is the area a tornado touched down. We have crews on the scene. In fact, you're seeing our live truck there in this shot right now. No reports of injuries at this time, but we know that this has produced a lot of damage in this area with the roof damage. We saw the power flashes earlier. We're also seeing some damage reports coming in from Pettis County, but what you're looking at again is in Lee Summit. People are trying to pick up that mess there, and that is a semi-trailer truck that has been flipped into those cars because of those very strong winds from that tornado we had live on our Chopper 5 video.
And our Jonathan Carter is in Lee Summit right now. He spoke to some folks who were there at this particular place of business as the storm moved on through. Jonathan, what can you tell us?
Well, right now we're at the College Station Shopping Center in Lee Summit. Just show you kind of behind me. It's a little overcast out here, not just because it's getting late, but it is dark out here and a lot of lightning flashes. I don't know if you picked them up in our photographer Josh Collins' camera, but a lot of lightning flashes out here right now. There you just saw one. Now here's also what I want to show you. A lot of these cars were damaged, at least a dozen of them. Tow trucks have been busy helping folks out. The insurance guys are out here, and check out this Mazda 3 right here. worth a lot less than it was just a few hours ago. This thing got smashed out here. And what I'm holding right now should be up on the roof right there. This is part of the shingles that were sitting on at the shopping center out there at College Station. And as you look, you can hear the sirens off behind me, but the Clothes Mentor store is right there. You see some of the employees right here. And I want to bring around Lee Gardner. Coming around here, Lee. You actually own the store.
Correct.
What was your reaction when you saw, actually when you heard, and then when you came out here and saw everything?
Well, I've never been through this before, so it's kind of shocking, but my main concern was that my employees were okay, and everyone's fine. We just have a lot of water damage, and don't know what really is going to happen.
Now, you weren't out here when it actually, when everything happened, but your employees were. What was it that they were telling you?
They called me at home saying the sirens were going off, and I was actually watching the coverage on TV, and I was watching the tornado hit the building, going, wow, that looks familiar. And they called, once that I saw that, the phone started ringing, and I just got in the car and jumped out here right away.
Okay, and now that you're out here and you're taking stock in exactly what you're seeing, I mean, what are you thinking now?
We're going to have a grand reopening as soon as possible.
Okay.
We have a lot of water damage. We haven't really been able to get in and assess the damage. There's part of the roof's missing. So once we can get in there and assess everything, I'll be working with the insurance company and we'll get back open.
Okay, and again, all of your employees are okay?
Shaken up, but fine.
Okay, thank you very much. It's Lee Gardner, the owner of Clothes Mentor right there. He got a couple of employees just, looking in.
Let's talk about the other impacts that we're having from these storms, and that is the flooding. This video is on our Facebook page from Emily of flooding in Sedalia. We're seeing emergency management reporting lots of water in the streets. You're seeing these cars, very, very deep water here coming up to the doors. Obviously, we want to suggest you don't drive through these flood waters. You have to be reminded if you come across roads like that to find an alternate route. Never a good idea.
KCTV5's Betsy Webster is live at near Northeast Douglas and Tudor. That area has seen quite a bit of damage. A fireworks stand is now just scattered across the area. And Betsy, you talked with people who were running that stand tonight when this all hit.
I did, and you'll hear from them in just a moment about what they saw right before this hit. We are in the parking lot of Lee Summit North High School, and I want to show you, you'd think a tent really no big deal, right, because it's going to be not a very sturdy structure, but take a look at the kind of materials that are used to support it. I mean, this was shored pretty heavily. That's what the tent looks like now. And though, yes, a tent is not the brick house that the big bad wolf could not huff and puff and blow down. This was more like the straw house. But if we come over here, you can see something sturdier that got knocked over. This is the trailer, the semi-trailer that the fireworks were being stored in before they were moved to the tent. You see this? You can see that the door is on its side. The wheels are over here. That means that this trailer was tipped entirely over because of the winds in this storm.
Only on KCTV5, Josh Marshall is in Lee Summit to tell us about a woman who was rescued from rising floodwaters.
Normally, this is just a runoff creek bed, but it's turned more into a flowing river running down 291 southbound. But right here, this is a Cirilla's store, and when that water started rising, an employee was inside taking shelter from a tornado. When this water started rising, it came into the building. This normally small creek bed turned into a death trap around 8 o'clock. When the creek spilled over its banks, it flooded the Cirilla's basement. Inside, a worker was taking shelter from the storm. She told her father on the phone that water was pouring in. She was trapped and calling 911. The only exit she could use was this makeshift back door. When she jumped into fast-flowing water, she was swept away. A Lee Summit police officer was close by and saved the woman's life as she was holding on to brush in chest-high water. If you take a listen to that, the father of the victim here says that that's all his daughter heard when she was inside the building, but she was too upset to speak with us about this situation, but she is doing okay. In Lee Summit, Josh Marshall, KCTV5 News.